City Cast Pittsburgh is brought to you today by Jones Dairy Farm. They are a 7th-generation, family-owned and operated meat maker with products like dry-aged bacon, all-natural sausage, and America's favorite center-cut Canadian bacon. Their premium meats are all gluten-free, perfect for busy mornings, and available all over the place here in Pittsburgh. I checked out the map on their website, jonesdairyfarm.com, and got back dozens of our grocery stores. You can even get their sausage in pork, chicken, or turkey, all no preservatives, no additives, no MSG, nitrates, or fillers. Just fresh ingredients from Jones Dairy Farm, making breakfast better since 1889. Today on City Cast Pittsburgh, Market Square is getting a makeover. Ed Gainey is going to face some competition in the race for mayor, and we are hosting a special live holiday show where you can come and hang out with us. Plus, we've got a rewarding and seasonal way to help your neighbors. It's Tuesday, December 10th. I'm Megan Harris, and here's what Pittsburgh's talking about. I'm with CityCast Sophia Lowe.
Hey, Megan. Good morning.
Hey, Sophia. Before we get into the news today, Sophia and I want to embrace the spirit of giving this time of year as part of our end-of-year membership campaign.
Yes, and we are giving out goodies this time around. If you support our work today, you get 2 thank you gifts. One is an exclusive members-only City Cast Pittsburgh tote bag, and the second gift is a free audiobook credit, and that's coming from our partners at Libro.fm. So you can join and support us. Just head over to membership.citycast.fm.
And the tote bag is pretty cute. It's solid black. It's not going to show any schmutz or the coffee that I am inevitably going to spill on the thing. There's a zipper to close it. And it's got a cute little microphone thing on it. I think it's really darling and perfect for strolling out to do all of your holiday shopping.
This is not your run-of-the-mill tote bag. I am a big fan of the zipper, just because it makes me feel like a little bit more secure.
Also keeps pistachio out of your stuff, which is very important. You got to have a cat-friendly bag.
Yeah, no, Pistachio loves tote bags. She is always in them, but it is not just about the goodies or, getting a tote bag without cat hair in it. You get the bag because you're investing in a team. That's me, Megan, Mallory, and Francesca, and we are really dedicated to helping you connect to your city every single day and help you figure out where the good pop-up bars are, what pizza you have to try. That one's really important to me. And, the hard things like how city and county budgets work and why you really should care about them. Yeah, you've been spending a lot of time watching lots of meetings.
We wear a lot of hats over here. And for as little as $8 a month or $80 a year, your membership can support all of the work that we do over here. So reading the news, distilling it, telling you what to check out, how to score a good deal.
All of it. Yes, we do it all.
All of it. We work really hard to try to bring you perspectives, not just our own, but lots of others from around the region to hopefully make living in Pittsburgh just a little bit easier and also a lot more fun.
So just $8 for this really great tote and really great journalism. So we think it's a great deal.
Yes. So again, if you love what we do, please head to membership.citycast.fm today, and we will send you that tote bag plus the credit for a free audiobook from Libro when you become a member and invest in the local stories that help Pittsburgh thrive.
And make sure to give us your mailing address when you sign up. Make sure you get that tote bag.
Very important.
Don't miss it because you can never have too many tote bags.
So on to some changes coming to downtown Pittsburgh. We have talked a bunch about how we're going to be hosting the NFL draft in 2026.
Yes.
But we got to get clean. We got to get shiny for the hundreds of thousands of visitors that come in for that thing. So the state is giving us $3.4 million to upgrade Point State Park.
Wow. Downtown is getting a lot of support lately. Governor Josh Shapiro was here a few weeks ago, and he was unveiling plans for investing $600 million in downtown. But that is over the course of many years. Draft obviously coming up a lot sooner.
And we should remind folks that that $600 million that Shapiro talked about, it's still at the moment more of a promise than a reality. Like only a small fraction is currently accounted for, and they're still looking for public and private partners to fund the rest. Very, very good news, but like let's temper it a little bit. And this $3.4 million, it's either separate or it's connected, but it obviously just a teeny tiny piece. But its focus is going to be on the fountain and that area that surrounds it. So repairing leaks, new controllers, upgrading the lighting. Sophia, this is especially hilarious to me because the fountain and its big grand reopening was my very first story when I moved to Pittsburgh.
Wow.
It was in June 2013. They made a whole thing of it. The governor came.
Like this time.
Yeah. Now former Mayor Bill Peduto, he was running. At the time, he was city councilor Bill Peduto. They had a marching band, but it was this huge renovation, like almost $40 million. It took 7 years to do it. So they were so excited to turn the fountain on, but they did not calibrate how much to turn the fountain on because you know how tall it can be. And it was a very windy day. So they turned it on and the water keeps rising and then it starts moving sideways and it drenched everyone. Like the governor, Peduto, that whole marching band. I still remember vividly the tuba player just sprinting to try to get out of the way of the water.
Well, hopefully they learned from their mistakes last time. And also, hopefully, this project won't take 7 years because that's not going to be in time for the draft.
They don't have that to do it. No.
Yeah. You know, what's old is new again.
So they're going to be fixing up some walkways, doing some landscaping, a bunch of stuff that you would expect, you know, if you're prepping for a ton of people coming to town. And I feel like some of this, like some of these projects, to me, read as like a thing for maybe some of the grumpy suburbanites who are constantly fussing about how quote unquote dirty downtown is. I don't know. I hope that this makes some of those folks a little more content because like we all work downtown sometimes. And
I think it's fine on a day-to-day basis. Yeah, I haven't like thought, wow, this place needs a big cleanup right now.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm happy to have state money if they're going to give it to us.
That's fair. And I mean, if you're in downtown lately, it's probably not the most beautiful day because winter is not our season for looking our best.
And also not usually the season for when we start projects like this. So at the moment, we are planning ahead. The Trib says that all of this is going to kick off this coming May in 2025, go into the spring of 2026. So some of the usual major events that we see downtown and in Point State Park may need to find new homes. Like the 4th of July celebration, for example. I'm really curious what it's going to mean for like Juneteenth and Pride, because those had a lot of scheduling issues with Point State Park this year.
And did not end up happening in the park.
Did not. But I'm also sure that they're going to keep at least some degree of fireworks like the 4th of July ones I'm thinking of, because the renovation isn't just tied to that draft, right? Like, I guess officials are expecting lots of people to show up to celebrate the 250th birthday of the city, which is coming up that's coming up in 2026. So plans for that celebration are still in the works, but I think all of this is sort of tied together to make the city, I don't know, as pretty as it can be by those big dates coming up soon.
Okay, so fireworks to come in 2026.
I mean, it's Pittsburgh. There's going to be fireworks a lot of times between now and 2026.
Fireworks at the park in 2026. But during that like construction part, will the park ever be closed down entirely? That feels like a lot of nice space to lose access to for like a year.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's gonna ebb and flow, right? Like the Gap Trail, which connects from the Point all the way to DC, if you want to take the Gap to the CNO and all that. The Fort Pitt Museum, the Blockhouse, and the bathrooms, those are all going to stay open. But parts of the park are definitely going to be closed off at certain points. Still early stages, so we don't have a schedule or anything, but we will definitely keep an eye out for that when we, see it in the spring.
Good tip. When I'm downtown, though, I usually spend more time in like the Market Square area, partially because that's where our office is. And that is also getting a facelift. This is part of that $600 million plan Governor Shapiro announced. Shout out to Julia Frazier at WESA for sharing more details about what changes we can expect. So this whole project is being led by a big design firm. It's actually the group that designed the High Line in New York City. So they're pretty legit.
I've only seen a teeny portion of the High Line before, but what I saw was really cool. Like it's nothing like what Pittsburgh calls its High Line.
Definitely not. I've really liked it too. It is very, very crowded for sure. But like walking down it is really nice because you get this mix of the city, all these murals, some plants.
A lot of
Like,
plants,
yeah,
at least where I was.
Would be happy to see more foliage come to Market Square. And, going back to Market Square, it's getting 30 of that 600 million for renovations, plus creating medians along Liberty Avenue. So the square is better connected to Point State Park. Personally, I was really excited about an earlier proposal for making Market Square pedestrian only.
Yeah.
So I am very sad to say that is not happening now. But there is one side of the square that's going to be closed off to traffic permanently. So the goal is fewer cars and trucks passing through, so there will be more room for people and outdoor dining.
Yeah, so if I'm reading the mock-ups right, you won't be able to go the full circle around the square anymore. You can go through one side of it and then the other side is closed off.
Yes, unless you're on foot like me, then you can do as many laps as you want.
Accurate, yeah.
So the side that's going to be closed off is parallel to 4th Avenue. Like I mentioned before, restricted to cars only, and that's the side of the square that has Permanis and Alta Via.
Yeah, I saw where the president and CEO of the Pittsburgh Downtown Partnership, it's such a mouthful.
It is.
Jeremy Waldrop, he said it's going to make the whole area more pedestrian friendly at night and during events. I have to imagine, Sophia, that he's speaking to folks just like you who are like, it's kind of sad that the whole thing is not going to be pedestrian only. But, this also allows the businesses over there to get their deliveries dropped off, to get their trash picked up because those big trucks are still going to have to come through. In the meantime, I think it's going to be some time while they do all those renovations for stuff to be like not looking its best so that it's really, really pretty moving forward.
Other updates include this fancy white trellis thing. So that's going to make like a semicircle around the perimeter of like the middle of the square. It'll have some pretty lights. So I am very excited to see that at night. You can check out the pictures on WESA's website. And they say that this was inspired by what the market downtown looked like in the 1790s. So real throwback.
Yeah, can you just imagine somebody pawing through a bunch of like archival photos and they're like, this is what we want. We want to throw it way, way back.
I mean, I think the design looks kind of cool, so I'm happy whoever.
I do too. I'm not fussing on that. I just think like, I don't know. I always love to hear like where folks got their inspiration, and the idea of like pulling from the 1790s is a little bit further back than I usually expect.
That's totally fair. And then one more change is that they're getting rid of the cobblestone streets. So this is going to turn into a smoother road that holds up to ADA standards.
But, if you look at those photos, again, pulling from the ones that are posted on WESA, it looks like there are still bricks or cobblestones or something.
Yeah, it's not like pure asphalt.
Yeah. Not that I like asphalt either, but like if you've ever moved a wheeled object across bricks, even really nice new ones, I would not call that smooth. Like it's still pretty challenging.
But, like you said, with the Point State Park plan, still in early stages. So I guess this plan could evolve. More changes could come. So the group leading it all, they're called Field Operations. Like I mentioned, they did the High Line in New York City. So they're meeting up with the Historical Review Commission in February. So next year. And then they also want to get construction started next year so they can also finish in time for the NFL draft.
So yeah, these are mock-ups, but there's more reviews to come.
Do you want to learn more about campaigns and politics, or want to get more involved in your local community? Attend the Ready to Run campaign training for women on Saturday, January 25th at Chatham University. It's hosted by the PA Center for Women in Politics. The nonpartisan campaign training is your one-stop shop to learn more, whether you're a newbie, just getting started, or are getting ready to launch your own campaign. The day-long program covers campaign basics like fundraising, communications, and developing your campaign plan. Past participants have gone on to win at every level of office, federal, state, and local. Plus, there's also a pre-conference for women of color on Friday night, January 24th. You can register at pcwp.org and click on Education and Training. Register now to get the early bird price.
Live Nation Pittsburgh and 102.5 WDVE proudly present Pittsburgh Plays The Cure at the Roxy Theater on Saturday, December 14th, 2024, one night only. If you're a fan of The Cure and you love tribute shows and you like hearing local artists, this is the performance for you. More than 30 Pittsburgh musicians will play tribute to The Cure by performing iconic hits like Just Like Heaven, Love Song, and Friday I'm in Love. This is the 5th installment of Pittsburgh's beloved concert series that celebrates legendary bands and showcases the amazing talent of local artists. And the best part is, while you're enjoying this music, you will also be supporting local musicians because proceeds benefit the Pittsburgh Plays Artists Fund. So don't miss out on Pittsburgh Plays The Cure this Saturday, December 14th at the Roxy Theater. Tickets are on sale now. Visit pittsburghplays.com for more details.
So we'll keep it in the city. There's a new mayoral candidate who has jumped into the race.
Yes, Corey O'Connor announced his announcement. There's supposed to be like a party tonight to make it all official, but I kind of felt like this was coming because I have been getting a bunch of Instagram ads for a while now. Not saying he's running for mayor, but just kind of like Corey O'Connor wants to fight for better air quality, like that kind of like generalization, big picture stuff.
Yeah, same. I didn't get them until this weekend, but they're hilarious to me because they just re-upped what they had back in like 2022, 2023. Like if you look at the notes on them, it says Corey O'Connor for controller, county controller. Because they didn't update their creative assets. Like there's still the same images from 2 years ago. And they're all like kind of this retro Barbie 1970s vibe, like a lot of pastel pinks and blues. They're really striking to see for an election thing because you're used to like the rah-rah red, white, and blue stuff. And this is definitely not that.
Yeah. This is more muted.
Yeah.
Totally.
But I feel like Corey O'Connor announced kind of before this, like, what was it, a couple weeks ago that he talked to WTAE and they were like, so are you running? And he's like, well, we're thinking about running. Well, we're going to talk to my family. And it's just like, nah, dude, you're clearly running. So I think this is just making what everybody knew like official.
I assume he was maybe waiting until the county budget was done. Obviously,
Right.
that also very much dominated headlines and before all of the end of year donations were finished. Because if anyone does want to give Corey a gift, they only need to consider his new campaign.
Totally. Yeah, the county budget, of course, just wrapped up. And as county controller, he had to give testimony a handful of times talking about like the state of the county finances. So this has been like his bread and butter for months.
And I guess now he'll probably be turning most of his focus to his mayoral campaign.
Yeah, to the city.
And reminder, our current mayor, Ed Gainey, he announced his re-election campaign back in the fall. We laughed about this before, but you can't technically file to run in Pennsylvania until January. So they were just really on top of this, really wanted to make this as long as possible.
Yeah, both of them are way ahead of schedule. But I get it. They're both Democrats. The primary this coming year is May 20th. I cannot believe that we are already talking about the next election. I don't feel like I've recovered from the last one.
It was a month ago. That wasn't that much time.
No, it's so short. And now we're talking about who's running for mayor in Pittsburgh. But either way, like, Gainey announced in September. Now Corey O'Connor is announcing in December. It's just not a lot of time either way for an election that happens in May.
Mayor Gainey's definitely been sneaking in times to promote himself, though. His latest budget address, he talked about bridge replacements, road repairs, how he got the NFL draft here for 2026. It was a very long speech, and over an hour of it was like, look what we've accomplished while I've been in office. And then a few minutes of like, here's the budget for the budget address.
Yeah.
I mean, he's also going to have to answer for things that people are not as happy about, like homelessness, our city's budget problems. He talked a big game about getting nonprofits to pay their fair share of taxes. That hasn't happened yet. And the handshake deal with the former police chief. So that ended up resulting in the police chief quitting to go be a college basketball referee.
Yeah, I mean, and some of what Gainey took credit for in that budget address, it either happened or it got paid for years and years ago, like way before he was mayor. But I appreciate an effort to add a few extras to your list, a few extra feathers in your cap. Meanwhile, Corey O'Connor, if you are not familiar or you've maybe heard the name but don't know why, he is a lifetime Pittsburgher. He's in the news a lot. He's been the county controller since 2022, so that means focused predominantly on finances.
Right.
Before that, he served as the District 5 representative on City Council. So that's the East End, including Squirrel Hill and areas around there. I don't remember him making a ton of waves when he was on council, but WESA reminded me that he was one of the main proponents for gun reform legislation here in the city.
Oh,
and
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and paid sick leave. Both had court challenges. So neither were very straightforward. The District 4 counselor, the current one, Anthony Coghill, he has already all but endorsed Corey O'Connor. And I think this is important, going back to the police chief conversation, Sophia, because Coghill was mad as a hornet last month during those committee hearings about what happened with the police chief, and not mad at all at the police chief himself. Well, not mad entirely at the police chief.
Okay.
Mostly mad at Gainey for the backdoor deal that made it all happen, because council never knew that was happening. They never approved this deal. And then they were really upset that now they're out literally millions because the police chief was in office for so little time.
Yeah, that got pretty messy.
Mm-hmm. And then Corey O'Connor's dad was also a politician here in the city. So he was on council for 14-ish years. And he was elected mayor too in 2006, but he only served for part of the year in 2006.
Right.
He died of brain cancer. It was really fast. It was really sad. And his wife, Corey's mom, Judy, also passed earlier this year. So Corey's got all of this unique family experience doing this exact thing, running for mayor after having been on council. But his parents are gone now. So he's going to be kind of going it alone on the campaign, with his wife and his family, of course. But it's just sort of weird and sad to be in the family business, but not be able to ask your dad any questions about am I doing it right? Is this going okay? Whatever. I don't know. It's a unique thing, I think.
It definitely is. And if you're interested in being there for Corey's formal announcement, he's actually got 2 events going on today. So you can head over to the Bulldog Pub in Morningside. That's going to be from 7 to 9 p.m. And the Bulldog Pub's got a post on their Instagram about this whole event with a QR code to RSVP. And then there's another event in the West End that's going to be at Cafe 412.
And then keep an eye out for Gainey, too. I spotted him over the weekend with Barb Warwick. So she's the one who now holds Corey O'Connor's former council seat.
Interesting.
The two of them were holding a little wine glass at the Squirrel Hill Wine Walk and talking to folks as they went through the various stops. And I haven't seen that Warwick has endorsed anyone yet either. But I am betting that Gainey is going to be very visible and probably very vocal over the coming months to make sure folks know what he's most proud of over his first term.
Absolutely. And also, no Republicans have jumped into the race yet, but if they do, we will let you know.
Hey, Andy McDaniel here. I'm Chief Creative Officer at City Cast. If you're like me, you're fatigued with the news right now. And yet here you are listening to today's show. I hope that is because CityCast is a bright spot in your media diet. We started CityCast out of the belief that local news can be not only informative, but useful, even delightful. We also believe that when people like you understand your city and your neighbors, it makes your city a better place to live. If CityCast does that for you, I hope you'll consider becoming a member. By listening to this show, you are already a part of what we're building. But when you become a CityCast member, you help ensure we stick around. Become a member of your local CityCast at membership.citycast.fm. That's membership.citycast.fm. And thanks.
This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, more time online, and more personal info in places that could expose you to identity theft. That's why LifeLock monitors millions of data points every second. If your identity is stolen, their US-based restoration specialist will fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Get more holiday fun and less holiday worry with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
And before we go, we've got a quick reminder about one way to help your neighbors as we get into the winter. Plus, we have an event coming up with your City Cast Pittsburgh friends.
So how to help first, the city of Pittsburgh's looking for snow angel volunteers. So this is a program that pairs older residents and people with disabilities with volunteers that'll help them shovel their driveway, their sidewalk, make sure it's safe out there when it's icy. So if you do want to volunteer, you sign up online. We'll have the link in our show notes. And the goal is just to shovel your neighbor's sidewalk as soon as possible within 24 hours of a snow event. So someone will contact you once you've been matched with someone, and Pittsburgh Magazine has a pretty long list of neighborhoods that definitely need more volunteers, so we will also link that in the show notes to see if you're around.
Yeah, and then if you are the one who needs help with getting your snow cleared, like it's your house, you need help making sure that you can get around. Sophia, remind folks how to sign up for that.
That is also an online form, super easy, and just a couple requirements. You must be 62 or older and live within the city of Pittsburgh. Hope everyone stays warm and stay safe.
Yeah, and if you know of ways to help your neighbor this holiday season, we are always looking for opportunities to share. You can email us at pittsburgh@citycast.fm.
Or you can also leave us a voicemail with your name and neighborhood. You might hear your voice on the show. And you can call us and leave that message at 412-212-8893.
And last but not least, a very important announcement from our team. If you love holiday music and you want to meet us, we are hosting a live event next Friday, December 20th. So it's going to be at our studio in the Benedum-Trees Building downtown. You can see Market Square, such as it is right now. Our contributor, Kevin Gavin, he does the trivia in our Hey Pittsburgh newsletter, and he helped us out a ton over the summer. He's going to be recording his 48th annual all-request holiday music show. It's an institution in this city, and he is kind enough that I'm going to get to co-host a little bit with him. I did it last year. We're going to do it again. It's going to be an absolute blast.
It's going to be a lot of fun. It is basically an open house. You can pop into our studio, see Kevin and Megan in action, and you can even request a song live on the air. Also, if anyone has a copy of Justin Bieber's Drummer Boy, please let me know, because I really want Kevin to play that. And he has Justin Bieber songs, but maybe not that one.
He has such a huge archive of holiday music. If you have a request, please get in touch with us. Again, you can call or text us. You can send us an email. You can hit us up on Instagram. We're at CityCastPGH. We will get those requests to Kevin, but he does have to know about it if it's a little bit of like an unconventional song, so that he can make
Justin
sure that
Bieber's Drummer Boy.
Yeah, that he has it in the arsenal for the day of show.
So again, come hang out with us December 20th. The event's from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's the 10th floor of the Benedum-Trees Building downtown on 4th Avenue. People of all ages are welcome. We will have the info in our show notes, but we would love to see you there. Come eat cookies with us.
Definitely. And bonus points if you show up with your exclusive City Cast Pittsburgh tote bag. And we'll also include some details in our show notes about how to listen if your travel plans already have you out of the city that day. You gotta keep in touch with us, even if you're out of town.
Yeah, I was out of town last year and I listened in. Please bring your tote bags with you. I tend to overbake and someone's got to get those leftover cookies out somehow. Which, reminder, get that tote bag by signing up for our membership program at membership.citycast.fm.
That's all for today here on City Cast Pittsburgh. One more reminder that our end of year campaign is underway, so you can become a member of City Cast Pittsburgh, support journalism that connects you to your city. Again, that is membership.citycast.fm right now to join. And if you are already a member, we really appreciate it. We could not do any of this work without you. We will be back tomorrow with more news from around the city. Talk to you soon. This is not loud enough. Sorry, hold on. Today on... Oh, that's too loud. Wow. There's no happy medium on this.